My name is Yaya Moussa. I am the founder and president of African Today TV, and on behalf of my entire team, I would like to thank each of you for coming. This event is meant to present the African Today TV project to the African ambassadors in DC. Quite often, stories about Africa by the international media are depressing for the readers and viewers, and even more so for the Africans themselves. Indeed, Africa is usually portrayed as a hopeless land, and Africans as people who need to be helped and salvaged. I characterize the threat of this gloomy narrative as what I call the 5 Ds, namely disease, disorder, death, devastation, and desperation. But this is not my continent. While recognizing the fact that Africa indeed has its own problems and failings, we strongly believe that this is a partial and distorted view of the continent. It is urgent to rectify those misrepresentations of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the question before us today is why the positive facts about Africa and Africans are so largely ignored. But offering a response is more helpful than asking a question. Therefore, in the spirit of self-responsibility and self-help, as an African, at my humble level, I have decided to establish Africa Today TV to tell Americans a different story about Africa and to show them the successes of my continent. Many international TV channels have some Africa-focused program, but it is my belief that stories about Africa are better told by Africans themselves. This is the essence of Africa Today TV. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for all those reasons, Africa Today TV should be your television in America, Africa's voice and face in Washington, D.C. and the United States. Beyond my humble self, I see Africa Today TV as a continental endeavor, and I respectfully invite you to endorse it, own it, and make it successful. This is the worthy challenge facing all of us. Open your eyes, look around. Everybody is in Washington, D.C., except for African TV channels. We need to fill in that void. As said repeatedly, television is an instrument of soft power. For instance, diplomacy regarding development issues, security issues, business connections, education exchange between the US and Africa. In terms of soft power, just think of Al Jazeera and Qatar. This is, by many standards, Qatar, a tiny country, but this is also a very powerful country with a far-reaching voice. The project itself, Africa Today TV is a US-based TV channel based in Washington, D.C., but Africa-focused. Africa Today TV aims to become a full-fledged TV. We will broadcast everything television, from current affairs to news, sports and entertainment, politics, business, the economy, film, documentaries, culture, education, reports, interviews, etc., etc. We can have something from Algeria. We can have something from South Africa, something from Burkina Faso, something from Mauritius, something from Angola. We consolidate and we broadcast. We can share with the American audience economic reports on the economies of the different African countries. We can do sector reports. For instance, what is the oil and gas business today in Africa? What is the infrastructure business? What are the investment opportunities in timber or in agriculture? We can do that. As far as the African Union is concerned, we would love to cover the African Union summits to inform Americans about what's going on in Addis Ababa. We can cover many other forms of events. Africans generally love football, the Africa Cup of Nations. My son, who is sitting in the back in this room, is a soccer lover. So, you know, whenever he keeps on switching with his remote control, trying to see which American TV channel is broadcasting the games in Africa, to his frustration. So Dad is going to remedy that soon. Soccer. In South Africa, I think every year there is an important gathering regarding the mining industry in Africa, the Indaba in Cape Town. We can inform the potential American investors about the opportunities lying in the mining sector in Africa. Africa fashion, Africa cuisine. So we have a lot of events here we can help publicize here in the United States. Music, we can do a lot to show the vibrant and inventive face of Africa. Africa Today's TV has unique strengths. Mind my slogan, Africa by Africans, self-responsibility and self-help. Africa Today TV occupies a niche, US-based but Africa-focused. Our main target is the African diaspora in the United States, but also, and more so, the so-called globally minded Americans. The potential market size, we mentioned 4 million people of African descent in this country. Growing awareness by African leaders that media means soft power. Increasing Americans' interest in Africa. We are living momentous times in the history of US-Africa relations. Let's seize the moment. Thank you very much.